Hello everyone. Today I'm going to read to you from a fabulous book that I've just started reading. It is called Fever Season, the story of a terrifying epidemic and the people who saved a city by Jeanette Keith. Now, Jeanette Keith is writing about the infamous Memphis yellow fever epidemic of 1878. And when I found this book online, I was like, I want to read what it was like in a previous epidemic and see how it compares to where we are now. And Jeanette writes towards the beginning of her book, some human reactions to epidemic disease are so common as to be all but universal. For example, when people see the sick falling down dead all around them, the normal tendency is to run away and possibly spread disease by fleeing from it. Among those who don't make it out of town before the city gates are closed, the highways blocked, the trains canceled, in short, among the trapped. Some will react by isolating themselves, avoiding human contact, and others will take the epidemic as an occasion for wild, end-of-the-world bacchanals. Despite these commonalities, however, epidemics call forth responses that illuminate the diverse social strengths and weaknesses of the locale in which they occur. Natural history is not enough to explain what happened in Memphis. Human history is needed too. And she goes on further, this is my favorite line in the book so far. This is a story about character, a history of a time when natural forces pushed people to moral extremes. Seriously, chew on that for a minute. Fever Season, the story of a terrifying epidemic and the people who saved a city by Jeanette Keith. We are being called to expose the foundations of our morals and our values. When tested in times of extreme stress, what often floats to the surface when we are experiencing stress and trauma is our character. Now, no judgment here, but it's been pretty rough out there, right? People can't agree about leadership or whether we should open or whether we should close. And then there's the whole mask issue. And everyone is running, it seems, if you look at the news and the media, at a fever pitch. It never stops. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in that. And I know I keep bringing this up, but it's a continuous problem. It's not like, well, I'm not going to watch the news anymore and then I'm okay. You have to be vigilant, right? So I ask you, in this time of stress and trauma and never-ending drama, how do you want to choose to live your life in ways that reveal the moral character you aspire to have? What does that mean? Well, for instance, I look at the Gospels, and the message I see time and again is, do not respond to other people out of fear. Fear not. Respond to other people out of love and see what happens. Because it's amazing. And that's really the gospel, right? Think about all the stories of Christ healing and casting out unclean spirits and feeding people and the miracles and then all of the simple life lessons that eradicate all of those boundaries and labels that bind first century Palestine society, and he slices through them like a hot knife through butter and says, do not live and react out of fear, but instead challenge yourself to live out of love. I may not think that Fever Season by Jeanette Keith is as good as the Gospels. I am a little biased, but it is a good book. And I encourage you, if that's a good space for you to be in, to look at a lot of the literature, the books that are out there talking about previous epidemics, because when you do, if you're like me, you'll find comfort in realizing, you know what? The second verse is the same as the first, right? It all comes back around again. These problems have all been here before, and you know what? They made it through, and it wasn't easy, but we're still here. I needed that today, and I hope it is something that you may need as well. My name is Pastor Rob, and this is our 5-minute meditation. Holy Trinity Community Church. Together, we are the difference.